Record. Guys, welcome to a JFH development session. We have Nick and Patrick here working on their fantastic last episode. If you watched last episode, you saw what their wonderful sprawling story, very like dark Gotham-esque, yet also having this so much originality with the characters that they're bringing to the table, and really exploring, I think, more emotional depth that we really need in the JFH cinematic universe. So it's awesome. But before we start, we were just talking about Funko Pop putting out, dumping $3 million worth of toys, and how it should be donated to children somewhere and should just be thrown out. So like, this definitely seems like a petition to start. And one may ask, how come we're not starting this petition? I don't have a good answer for that one, but I know that somebody should actually do it, because I would totally sign that petition. So, if you're going to start a petition to get toys in the hands of kids, bring some joy, please do that. Please let us know on social, and we will spread the word. But we're all spread a little thin to start on that petition and start marketing it. So, but with that said, guys, let's please talk about your progress from the last session to this session, and how we can help this along.
Well, we started by Patrick and I really collaborating to make sure we had all the beats we wanted within the story, and just going over that and going really, really detailed into each and every step. And then we've started on the actual physical script, and I would say we're into Act 2 right now of actually writing it. And so we've kind of gotten past more of the exposition portion of it into more the meat and potatoes. So that it's just really about translating it from the outline to a more artful way of saying things in a more vivid, descriptive form. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Exactly what he said. we met and just made sure that every, like he was saying, every step is right and stuff like that, and we're going to make sure that we get the script nice and good, nice and well put together, so that it'll look good on the screen also.
Okay, so is there anywhere in particular that you guys feel like I could be a sounding board for any ideas, concepts you want to expand upon or deepen?
At the moment, I think it's a lot of what we talked about in our last session. One thing that I have, or that we've done, is I think focus on I feel like in translating it from outline to script form, one thing that's come up is expanding the relationship and banter between Midnight or Dean and Zeke the cop or whatever. That's already come off right off the bat, and it comes off as at first banter, which gives you that kind of like a little bit of a bright spot that we were talking about last time. And then it, of course, then teeters into you see more emotional depth to Zeke than there is in the outline, that he is truly trying to look out for Midnight Noir, rather than just kind of being just like offhanded, like, oh, he just happens to know him and stuff like that. I think you see a little bit more emotion to him, and therefore that, I think, informs more emotion to Midnight, because you see his relationship with this other character. Yeah.
Yep, I double that. We're both working on the script at different times, so he's talking about stuff where I'm just like, oh, that's dope. And then we're gonna go over it together and stuff like that. But yeah, so I thought it was interesting.
I have a question on your process, but first, this came to mind. I just wanted to make sure I had the director right. Have you guys ever seen Acatone from Pier Paolo Pasolini? I highly recommend checking it out. It just came to mind It was one of my favorite films for a while. So I feel like when you're in film school and you're at least in my experience, like in film school, I'm getting exposed to all these different ways of visual storytelling, different like seeing how different Italian cinema is from French New Wave, is from et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And I remember when I experienced I think it's the neo-realism of like Akatone. And I could be wrong with that terminology, but regardless, that like it was so it's something that felt like midnight noir. And I don't mean this, it's not a superhero film at all. As a matter of fact, I believe Akatone, I believe, means scoundrel. I believe he's a pimp. But I haven't seen the film in a while, but the way it shows, like most of the people in it are not actors, and the texture of the environment, how much emotion is evoked from the environment and from the characters that you just have momentary interactions with. I think that's something that's often left out in it's the process of extracting the emotion from a scene is different in different cultures and different filmmaking styles. And this, like Pasolini, really achieved something very special here. And I think it might be valuable because something like this, even as a short, we want to be able to feel that there's a world that at every corner you want to be able to peek around. And I love that about Akatone. I'm like, wow, man, like, why do I want to look through? I want to stick my head through the frame and look around. Why? And it just popped in my head that this might be a valuable film for you guys. And it's Acatone, Akatone. And definitely check it out. My question to you guys was more so on your process, because again, I want to make these development meetings as valuable as possible for you guys. So my question is, if is each one of you, you said you're writing the script at different times. How does that process work for you guys?
Well,
so you want to go?
oh
You
yeah,
go.
sure. Yeah. So pretty much, Nick, out of the two of us, we've been partners, for 7 years. He's more of the write and script guy for a lot of projects and stuff like that. So what we'll do is he'll usually write a rough draft. I'll come in, I'll look at it, touch things up, maybe fix a couple things that maybe my opinion, or talk to Nick about it, pick at it for a while, and then we both go over it, and then that's usually the final process, is when we both kind of like talk it over with each other fully.
Yeah, we also thoroughly before we're even onto a script, we like kind of fully beat the concept to death, so
Yes.
that I pretty much know what he wants from the get-go. And so because we know each other's strengths and weaknesses. I'm more the, I can format it, come up with the nice fluffy language that makes it look like, oh, that's so
Nick's
like
very
the
technical.
descriptive,
Yeah,
and
descriptive.
so yeah, I'm very much that side of things. So once we get that concept, it's really just putting, it's the skeletons there, it's just kind of putting the meat on it.
Mhm.
And so then once I put the meat on it, then we go over to kind of, then it's like forming the rest of it, like polishing it and stuff like that. And then if he has anything he thinks, okay, this doesn't work here, this doesn't work there, or why don't we add this here and stuff like that. And so that's kind of how we go over it, usually. Or
Yes.
sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes it's he'll come up with the script and
Mhm.
then I'm doing the same thing on the opposite end.
Yep. Very true. But yeah, so we just help each other out a lot, for sure. So that's the one thing nice with working with someone for so long. You're like, all right, we got a system already down. Let's just stick to it. And then we, like he says, we flip and we go back and forth with the scripts and stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty good system too.
And then if I have any questions while I'm writing it, then I just immediately reach out to him, and I kind of just, but pretty much I know him so well, I kind of can be like, oh, Patrick, I think would want this.
Yep, it's the same. That's funny, but yeah.
So just so I make sure that we're making the best use of your brain space right now. You guys are in the midst of heavy productions for other people's projects too, correct?
We aid. I would say they're not full blown. They're not features or anything like that. They're usually within a day base, or I think the most we've gone is 2 days, and that was it. But these are just people right now. It's some people for like their senior year that we're all friends with, so they're doing their capstone, which capstones, at least at our school, they're not crazy big or anything like that, like 10 to 15 pages of a script. Even that's kind of a lot. So we're kind of slowing down, but we did these last 3 weeks help a lot of our friends that we're.
And then for the Easter seals, and then one other, which is a class assignment thing. They're like mini productions that they're going to be done on like almost like a week basis, not anything outside of that. They're not like anything crazy.
Yep.
Okay. So just pivoting from Midnight Noir to the production next week, do you guys need anything from me or the Kung Fu School, Sensei Dani, etc., besides the space?
Well, we talked about it and we discussed it after last time that we think that it would be more beneficial to have you working with me or being in the scene with
Bad
me
guy.
rather than Patrick, based on our choreography or working with the choreography last time.
Okay, so you want me to be in the scene?
Yes.
Yeah, instead of
you're gonna be
Patrick.
a bad guy.
So Patrick will be primarily directing there with me, but I'll be in the scene, so he'll be on the other side of it.
Okay.
And getting the look and all that stuff down while we're in the scene.
Just so you guys know, I do have to be cautious and conscious for my healing in the back. So I've been very selective about what movements I do. I just want to make sure that I'm happy to be in it. I just want to make sure
we can modify anything. We're not dead set on any of that. So anything that works better for you, we're totally fine with.
Okay. I just love Patrick, I love the way you could just throw yourself on the ground, and I would do it pre-December, obviously.
Yeah.
Right now I'm like, okay, you know what? Probably this entire year I should be very, very cautious about that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just doing my best to do that. And
it's just basic gameplay fighting, so we don't have to do all the crazy stuff. We could just keep it to jabs and punches, or punches and kicks and basic ones and stuff like that. We don't have to go super hard into the flips and stuff like that. Because and this too, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, I can do it. It's not a big deal.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, if you don't feel comfortable, we don't want to push you to do something you don't feel like fully ready for. But also, just so you know, we will adjust everything to your needs.
Okay. I just want to make sure that if if I'm in a scene, I can perform at the level that I should perform at. So I'm very, very cautious. Even like the little on the taking a stunt punch to the belly. Even that explosive when we've done it in choreography sessions has put strain on my lower back. So I'm like, man, like actually each one of the choreography sessions I've come out of, I'm like, man, I'm still like sore. This is not normal for me. So I'm just doing my best to be very, very cautious and conscious. That being said, in the event that how do I put this? When I did a TV pilot once, and the director wasn't sure. I might have told you guys about this, but it was a pilot that he was working on, but they were low on budget and didn't have budget to hire some of my buddies that are stunt coordinators. And so he's like, "Don't worry about it. I'll just go. Like I know everybody. I'll just go at it myself." And I looked at it. I was like, I'll do it for you. I did it for no fee, and I came out there for 3 days. And I brought one of my students to come and just look over the choreography, because the choreography is the way we do choreography is, obviously, you guys know, more of a realistic tone. So, he was very happy to have action director eyes on those scenes. And so I say that and he actually had several directors on set, which made the project come out. It's called Currency. Came out really fantastic. And didn't get picked up, but still came out really fantastic. Not because we worked on it, but because he had so many other directors on there. So I think that it's valuable if you guys are ever going to step in front of the camera, especially together, that you have another director on set, whether it's me or somebody else. I do my best to make sure that if I step in front of the camera, I have directors around me that are not necessarily being like, oh, wait, cut, but just somebody who knows what I want and therefore can help guide that if I'm not doing what I want. And so, I do think that the most valuable place for me, for you guys, if the most valuable place for me, eye-wise, is behind the camera in a scene where I'm not, if I can't perform I can't really do knees right now. I definitively can't do kicks.
Yeah.
I'm only doing slow Tai Chi kicks, and I'm not. I like after this, I might do a set of drills with like Vintage, who you guys met. And if I do the drills with him, I have to be really like fighting tall. So I'm standing really small stance, and I'm hardly moving my hips, and I'm working on like generating power differently because I'm just being so cautious. So I think in general, I would likely not feel comfortable doing choreography that we haven't really
perfectly fine,
had
man.
time to
And
do.
we do trust you for behind the camera stuff too, for action scenes and stuff like that. We just thought for the it would be kind of just like the intertwining of us working together too, you being on camera. But we, like I said, you're going to be helping us either way, so we get to still work with you. I'm totally fine with doing the stunts, and there's no worry anyway about if you I'd rather you just feel comfortable.
So I'll say this: we do have Rami.
I mean,
he's his height is intimidating.
Yeah.
And and he looks great on camera. And so if it wasn't me, and he's also, a pro. So it's just like I think it's if you want to be behind camera and you also want to have action direction eyes in terms of like choreography eyes on there, so that you're not having to think about both those things at once. I think it's really valuable to have me next to you, and then Robbie in front of the camera. Again, I'm offering his services without asking him. I'm sure
I'm sure he'll feel great about it.
I'm sure he'll feel great about
it. I mean, yeah, like that's a good idea too. I wouldn't leave that out for sure, of possibilities for sure.
Okay.
As long as he's cool with that, because I don't want to throw him in there either,
Well, I mean, he also has his leg extension stuff is like really from a production value standpoint. If I'm looking at your scene and I see a guy who's like, he obviously has trained for a very long time, and you're not only doing choreography with him, but you're like knocking him around, that's gonna take it to a different level. And that's what I'm concerned about for myself, is that I can't do that right now, like definitively. So I would lean toward Rami, and I'm sure he would say yes. Again, me offering his services would have
yeah. No, yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm definitely open to it. I'll say if we have to, when we're there, though, pivot away from that. Just my only concern would be with the choreography. I think it is already a little bit strained with your height, Patrick, a little bit sometimes with my reach. So if it looks great, I'm completely down for it. But if then it seems like a strain, then switching back to Patrick if it has to be.
Well, we could always have Rami bend down a little too for the camera. If we don't show any below the hip shots, we could have him kind of crouch down a little bit, like more like a fighting stance. So maybe he would be around my height or a little shorter than me when he goes down. I feel like we could cheat it for sure.
Yeah, I think we can work
a bunch of height canceling stuff, such as punch the groin, kick to the hip and thigh, I was at the dojo today, literally working on just like we're starting to work on concepts to kind of mine their system, because they have a lot of very interesting stuff that's in their system that if you don't do Kempo, you may not have access to. So I'm like, okay, people need access to this. So they were talking about these concepts of canceling, and I've only ever heard the concept of canceling in Street Fighter. Like I've literally never heard it before. I was like, what are you talking about? Canceling? You mean like pressing medium punch and medium kick at the same time? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And but you know, canceling somebody's height is a big one, and just being able to bring them down to your height. And I think that from a choreography standpoint, you having the insert shots of your foot pushing against the hip, moving the knee out, so it stops his shoulder, and then doing another kick to bring his head down, and then hooking the face, like all of that stuff is showing that it's not just a fight scene. It's educating the audience on how the mechanics of a fight work and how you are a superior fighter.
Yeah.
And like
I feel like we have
Chinese.
we kind of have to build that kind of choreography because we have such a height difference anyway. I think Rami probably is like another inch or two taller than I am. And so I feel like it wouldn't be that much different, because that is kind of what happens is he'll kick me and I go down and then he grabs my head and stuff like that. So naturally that height sequence is kind of automatically taken away. It's a lot of kicks to the sides, like we were talking about. It's because me and Nick naturally have that height difference anyway. So Rami, I don't think it'll be any different, to be honest. I feel like it's already height friendly.
Yeah, and Nick, you've already done some nice choreography on Rami, that especially that back fist to the head.
Yeah,
that was real fun. So I'll definitely message him right after this, and we'll get to that. And you know, just let me know, guys. Like with these the dev sessions, you know, like we're always here for you. I'm always here for you guys. It's just a matter of making sure that that you know the time is helping you guys the most. I just want to make sure of that. So if there's anything that you want to talk about on Midnight Noir in particular, you know, I'm here for it. And if not, we can close the session out, and just, you know, when you send that script over, if that's the next time you want to pick up is after me having read a script, I'm fine to do that too.
Okay. I feel like right now we are working. I don't know if like we could, like, we just want to make sure that the script comes out good and stuff like that. But I feel, yeah, I agree. Like, what do you think, Nick?
yeah, I think right now we have a lot of what we need in a sense, because it's kind of just as it tugs along. If there's something that's very complicated already in writing it, I know that I'm being, in a sense, I guess, other than the point A and point B, I'm being where I'm kind of I allude to fighting scenes and stuff like that because I know that we're going to choreograph it outside of that.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to influence, like in reading that. It's like I'm trying to be descriptive enough that then you can understand that the fight is happening and he's beating these guys and stuff like that. But I don't want to influence too much exactly what we're doing, because I want it to feel kind of natural there of however we end up planning it. But
you know, the Kurosawa line for Ron, in his script he wrote "they fight," and it was just one line, but it was actually like a 21-minute battle.
Yeah, so I'm just as we're going through it, I think those are like, I think right now we're on a good path, and I'd be fine doing that. We once we have the script, then meeting after that, if so that then we're kind of all on the same page, and we can move forward creatively and collaborate on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I also think that, you know, if you ever have a like character concepts you want to, because the script is the result of having done all this other work, right? So like if there are internal character things that you guys want to, mechanisms, desires that a character might have, how to showcase that desire, different options in different ways. And that's why I mentioned Akatone, because I think you guys from seeing the first Midnight Noir short, like you guys did an excellent job of articulating like American, like Hollywood superhero affair. And I'm like, okay, this is fantastic. Now, what can we draw upon? What influences can we look at to start saying, okay, well, here are how other cultures and other formats have expanded upon story world outside of franchise thinking that was very, very effective. And again, like Akatone is one of the main films that I would say it like really establishes a story world with very different mechanisms. So if there's anything that in terms of character, etc., story world that's going to make it into the script that you want to talk about prior to the script being done, I'm also open to that too.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think we have anything at this second, but yeah, I will make sure to message you for sure, because we want to make sure it all just as smooth as a boat. So.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm with that said, I'm going to close I'm going to stop recording right now. So, guys, anyone who's watching this, you can always get a development session on justiceforhire.app. Press the development buttons, which is on the carousel of the world page. So just scroll to the development call and press it, and make sure that you have the criteria done to get a development call. Because if you just like join the app and you haven't made any videos, then you will not make the criteria. But justiceforhire.app is how to join the cast. Justiceforhire.com is just to learn about all the stuff we're doing before joining the cast, if you're kind of tiptoeing around it. And Real World, that's our company. That is we're the first cinematic social network. So check us out on Real World, REELWURLD, because you're in it. And of course, wefunder.com/realworld for our equity crowdfunding campaign, so you can help build the company with us and own part of it. So we love you guys. And this is we've got Nick, Patrick, and I'm Jan. And we'll see you guys soon. And I'm pressing stop on this recording now.